Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
What?
The former owner of Comrade Quacks just asked Nicole for a favor.
Why is that funny?
She sued the guy. Took the only thing he owned. Comrade Quacks.
Sued him over what?
Not providing adequate security.
She was raped?
I didn't say that.
Nightclub is a sizable settlement. I can tell she wasn't murdered. You said it was over security.
You should be a private investigator. Why are you so fired up?
I was looking for patterns among the victims. Have you noticed that each of the bombs killed someone with a sex offense in his history? Jimmy Hadfield at the Sea Sprite kicked out of his first college after two women accused him of popping up in their dorm room beds naked and uninvited. Perry Walsh mailed an ex-girlfriend a package bomb along with a misogyny-laced get-well-soon card. Bryce Linden accused earlier of trying to roofie women. And you told me that the margarita slinger on the beach said something sexual to you. It's a pattern. But I was missing a perp.
And now?
What about Nicole?
As the perp?
I'm just saying, we saw what she did to Jimmy Hadfield. Not a lot of ladies slip on sap gloves and knock men out with practice right hooks. Plus, we know for sure that almost every victim passed through Quacks.
This is a cussing joke, right? I make fun of you for befriending our lead suspect, and now you pull this theory out of your ass.
Yeah, probably grasping at straws. She hasn't spoken about her expertise with explosives, has she?
Oh, yeah. She makes those perfectly round bombs like Boris and Natasha. And she likes to...
What?
Her family is in construction, which means...
Demolition. She has the know-how.
But answer this. Nicole's business hinges on spring break. Why would she destroy her livelihood?
Fair enough.
Point set match. My new friend is not a mass murderer. Yours probably is.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Veronica Mars. Yay! Yeah. We're just two boys watching every episode of Veronica Mars for the first time, giving our review and our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 5, titled Losing Streak, directed by Scott Wynant, written by David Walpert. And before we get into this episode, just a reminder to join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. We're covering True Blood. We're doing the last 50 Shades of Grey movie, 50 Shades Freed, coming up soon. Be on the lookout for that. Join our Discord. Discord link is in the show notes. And I'll do it at the top. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at boyswatchingbuffy, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com if you want to get into contact with us. And if you want to shout out, Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, screenshot it, send it into us, Amazon wishlist stuff. And follow me on Instagram at Jojo Vavoom.
And you can follow me at This Is Vance at Instagram. If you want, if you want,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If you're one of those, people that have that thing where you get obsessed with the people you listen to, and then you want to see them and follow them and keep track of their whereabouts and what they're up to.
Come visit them at their house. Yeah. Hold a knife over them while they sleep.
Just rub the knife on your cheek while you're watching them sleep. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that thing.
What is happening? We
lost the plot.
This has seeped into our brain because I have a lot of thoughts on this Veronica Mars episode.
I mean, last week, I think it was very apparent. We were not in a good place. We were losing it last week.
I will say a key thing that you said last week is that you were enjoying season 4 because of a certain lack of something.
Yep.
And they were like, fuck you, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, it started last week with Leo and Logan. They had a little bit of that goofy ass music.
No,
going.
that wasn't the thing I'm referencing at all.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's not what I'm referencing. I'm referencing a trademark staple of the Veronica Mars series.
Yeah, it came back in a big way this episode.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
But a little follow up. Speaking of Leo and Logan, it's been brought to our attention that Leo arrested Logan for Felix's murder. And I bring that up because last week they acted as if they had just met for the first time.
Yeah.
Insanity. At the beginning of season 2, he arrests Logan. He comes into the house, caresses Veronica's face, and arrests Logan. They have so much history.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I want to give I give the credit to Nicole, our Discord user, for bringing that to our attention. And also, it's been brought to our attention that the books are canon, which is key to
the books are canon.
Yes, which is key to understand half of the stuff that happens in this episode.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm illiterate. When you look this good, you don't gotta read. Vance just rolled his eyes, started doing chores. He started doing other chores.
Yeah, I'm going to need this energy drink then.
What do you got?
I've got the Ultra Dreams Monster Energy.
Oh, that's a
Ultra
strawberry
one. Dreams, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that one. I got the Alani Sherbet Swirl today.
Sherbet.
How do you say it? Do you say sherbet or you say sherbert?
I put the R in it. Sherbet.
It's not spelled that way.
Do I do it? I haven't said that word in forever. Sherbet? Sherbet? Sherbet?
Sherbet.
Is there an R in it?
There is not.
I thought you couldn't read it. I know you're going to tell me what letters are in things.
I'm full of surprises.
You just admitted you ugly. Boom.
Fuck. I've been found out.
Didn't take you long.
All right. Losing streak. What did we predict for this bad boy?
I predicted that Clyde and Daddy Dick are not behind the bombings and that Penn would be kicked out of the murder heads.
That Penn one was a good prediction.
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
He's not kicked out of the murder heads. No. I still believe that Clyde and Daddy Dick are not behind the bombings, but that is still up for debate.
They're behind something.
Still not confirmed.
Yeah. I think you might be right on that, though, too.
Yeah, they're pushing it too hard. It's weird. And you said we go back to Hugh's rat thing. I give you credit. They do mention it.
They say it for one line?
Yeah, exactly. That's as much as going back to it, I think we're going to do in the series. So, yes, I think you hit on it. You said Keith goes back to Concierge Medical. He does not in this episode. And Leo and Logan have to team up. Damn, I like that.
I also said at some point in the episode, maybe not during the predictions, that I now suspect Nicole.
Yes, you did say you suspect Nicole. Not Nicole, our Discord user. Nicole in the show.
Yeah, because I was like, because of the history of Veronica Mars making women evil.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And I predicted that it was going to be Sarah Hyland, a.k.a. Haley from Modern Family, that was in that episode at the beginning of last episode. I'm still sticking with that.
Okay.
I'm still sticking with that, but they are leaning a little bit more on Nicole, which
means it's not going to be her. Yeah. It's probably a fucking like Vinnie Van Lowe. Or there's gonna be some kind of surprise, like, oh, you never expected fucking it's Tim Foyle doing it from prison or some shit.
Yeah, it'll be who's still alive? Who's still alive out there? Oh, it'd be great if it's Troy. Finally.
It's Mac.
It's Mac. Yeah.
Mac's heel turn.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get into losing streak?
Let's do it.
All right. So Patton Oswalt is listening to Keith and Veronica, quote unquote, discovering the bug that he planted. because they knew last week. They're like, oh, this motherfucker bugged our office. And they're acting like they don't know that Patton Oswalt did it. And they're like, who could have planted this bug? And they're like, oh, is it Dick Casablancas? Maybe Clyde did it. And they're like, no, I don't think it was Clyde. Maybe it was Matty. No, I don't. And they're like, maybe it was Penn. And Keith is like, who's Penn? The pizza guy? Oh, there's no way that fucking loser could do that. That guy couldn't find his head and his ass in his hands. That guy's such a loser. That guy could never do anything like that. And Patton Oswalt is listening in. He's like, shut up. I'm not a loser.
I honestly didn't get this at all. Because they're making fun of him, but they're making fun of him for doing the thing that they said he couldn't do.
I think they know he's listening in, so they just wanted to like trash him.
But wouldn't that make him do something even more? I feel like it would taunt him into like bugging them again or something.
Yeah, bombing their fucking thing.
But
it's probably Patton Oswalt.
I also think it's crazy that they're like, he had to have bugged us. How else would he have gotten this information? And if you look at last episode, people were saying this information out loud in earshot of him. Matty Ross told him about it. Like, yeah, he did not need to bug anybody to figure any of this out.
Yeah. Maybe it is Patton Oswalt trying to like get fame. Maybe he's a copycat bomber.
Copycat bomber? I don't know.
Yeah, like he saw one bombing and then he was like, oh, everybody's all a tizzy about this.
Like they say later, the collar bomb is the real thing.
Yeah. So they throw away the bug. Mm-hmm. Veronica's telling Logan about how Patton Oswalt bugged their office, and Logan's getting ready to go biking, and Veronica's like taunting him about that. They're supposed to meet up with Wallace after work for his housewarming party, and Veronica doesn't really want to go because Wallace is friends with a bunch of yuppies now, and he's just a normie. And then Veronica gets a text from Leo talking about auditing hours, and then Logan's suspicious. He's like, oh, you were at lunch with Leo for 5 hours? That seems a little more than lunch. And Veronica is such a bitch, dude. She says, didn't your therapist drive these dark thoughts out of your head? And then Logan's like, still some in there. And then Veronica's like, you going to talk about this with her? And Logan's like, maybe, but I don't know. And then Veronica's like, shits on therapy. Logan's about to leave. And he's like, hey, just so you're aware, yeah, your marathon lunch with Leo will probably come up. And then he leaves, and Veronica looks all offended. She's like,
I don't know what they're doing with this character.
Yeah.
So, like, Logan is on a bike. And it's like making fun of him for riding a bike too, which is
say, oh, Captain Planet over here or whatever.
I don't know the distance to the Grand Hotel, like just the Neptune Grand. I just don't know if the bike is the easiest way. But they are on a beach.
Yeah, there is a bike path right in front of their house.
I don't know. It feels like one of those things that when she's like, I don't want to go to this party full of yuppies. It feels like making fun of the bike riding would be a thing that the yuppies would do. Like, we've never seen Logan on a bike ever. And now it's like that code, that shorthand for him, like becoming more granola, as they would say. Yeah, like he's riding a bike. He's got feelings. He's using words to express things.
I think that you understand it. I understand it. Going to a party with a bunch of normie yuppies is kind of painful.
I take a different tact with it because we don't do traditional work normally, me and you. Mm-hmm. I find it interesting.
Okay.
Because that's what I find it as a character, as a study of people of like, oh my God, so this is that's a job. I didn't even know that was like really something. And you've like did that, and there's some like title you've never really heard of, but it seems bland as hell. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, so that's what that does? I find it curious and interesting. And then I just I have fun with I make the fun at a party like that. I just don't see. My thing is, I don't have a frame of reference for Veronica hanging out at any party that she enjoyed.
True.
And she also hangs out with, she dated exclusively 09er scum.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, outside of Piz, that's the only real person I've seen her with. So I don't know what
I feel
her
like every party that
was.
she's been to, she was getting drugged or something.
Yeah, she was getting drugged, attacked, or there to like cause chaos.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Especially when I was doing stand up, going to a normie party was a lot of, oh, you can use that. Oh, don't use that in your act. Oh, how do you come up with your bits? Just like, I related very hard.
How do you come up with it?
Well, let me tell you, Vance. But I was like, oh yeah, going to a normie party is like, it is interesting. It is a little like, oh, that's, if it's like you're the party clown. Oh, Joe he's an aerialist. Oh, Vance he writes for TV. Vance writes for The Onion. Then it's all like, oh, how do I do that? Hey, you can use that.
Yeah, but then you do use it. You completely, that's the thing. We completely do use the stuff that we gather from those parties.
I never have once used it.
You never used anything like it's all observation.
Yeah. Those parties never really inspired me to.
I don't
like
think
anytime anyone's like, oh, don't use that. Like,
yeah, I just don't. I guess the parties I would go to weren't that buttoned up.
Yeah.
Also, I drink and you don't, so
yeah,
that changes things.
Yeah. Well, speaking of buttoned up, there's some guy in Langdon's office, the cop, Marsha Langdon. This dude is from a movie called The 10 that I love.
Okay.
With Ken Marino.
Okay, he looked familiar.
Yeah. He's pissed that they haven't found the bomber. His name is Lyndon.
Mm-hmm.
His son Bryce is the one that got his head blown off last episode. This guy is super rich because he started an online gambling company. He owns his own island. He's mad at the cops because they're not doing more about the bombings and figuring out who killed his son. And then Langdon fucking big dogs him. She's like, sit down, you little bitch. She's like, you may be the king of your island, but Neptune, that's my island.
Yeah.
And she's basically like, we will find the responsible party, but I want you to know that, I know you're sad about your son, but your son was a fucking asshole. He was known for drugging girls, and that's why he was kicked out of Comrade Quacks. And I know that you, sir, are under investigation for tax fraud and all this other shit. You can go to prison where you'll be drinking from a coconut and Chino, and I'm not afraid of you. Now get the fuck up and get the fuck up out my office. And then this guy said he's chewing his gum. I thought he was going to spit his gum.
No, he got put in his place.
He really did. It was pretty dope.
Two things here. When she brought up his tax fraud and tax evasion, I was like, oh, so in like 5 years, he's going to be Daddy Dick and running the town.
Yeah.
And also, I was happy to have the switch where she put him in his place because he's coming in hot. The only thing is, I wish, I like Langdon, but I wish they would show her doing any investigating. Like they never show her making any progress in the case.
Yes, be incompetent.
Yes, that's all you need. I just need to be like, oh, she has some info, and then it's like, oh wow, okay, cool. She doesn't have to solve it. I know Veronica and Keith have to solve it because show main characters, but I need her to be chipping away at it.
Even if she was cordial and working with Veronica, or giving Keith credit for oh, that's a good just some kind of goodwill, but she's just been an asshole.
I'm okay
throughout. It seems like, and she's trying to get out. She's trying to go to San Diego. She's been rude to everybody that we've seen, and it's the lack of competence that does take the sting out of the scene.
There's a moment later because she has this number 2 guy that's with her all the time. Who I was like, is he the bomber? But
he looks kind of like Bob Odenkirk, doesn't he? Every time he comes,
I see
I'm
Bob Odenkirk too much for at the match for me.
All right.
But later at one point he tells her, "Oh, put on some gloves before you hands her something." And I was like, oh, why did he have to tell her that? Like, that lessens her.
She's the bomber.
No, but I just want her to do, instead of just her at a crime scene and just being asking questions, I want her to get a lead or something.
Yeah. The reversal of like him standing and her sitting, and then she's like, you sit down now, motherfucker. I'm going to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's like the whole thing in The Office when it's like, why is Michael Scott the boss? And then there's that one episode where he like charms the shit out of that Tim Meadows at Chili's. And you're like, oh, okay, he is good at his job. Like, you have to have that, and Langdon hasn't had that.
Yeah, like, oh, he is a good salesman. It's like, oh, she is a good cop. That's all we need. Yep.
Yeah. But this guy, Lyndon, he leaves and he sees a bunch of newscasters outside. And he's like, hey, you want a story? Here's a real story. I am King something Lyndon, Mark Lyndon. And my son was Prince Bryce Lyndon, and he is dead. And I will pay $250,000 to whoever finds my son's killers. And I want them brought in alive so I can kill them myself. I'm a little, maybe that last part was a little just like the emotions riding high, but like I want this guy found out. So now that's going to cause a frenzy.
You would think it would.
Yeah.
It doesn't in this episode that we see.
I mean, when Veronica's talking to Wallace at his house party, she thinks it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, that's tell, don't show, I guess.
Yeah, every Yahoo with a magnifying glass is going to be looking on the beach.
I wonder what the FBI that's in town thinks about this report. Do we hear from Leo any more this episode?
He's auditing stuff. He's figuring out his lunch. He's a pencil pushing motherfucker. He can't. That's why Veronica, she's got the freedom, the PI.
Yeah.
Leo is under the government's thumb. What I feel like that last guy said, he's like, there's people that are going to be finding remnants of my boy's skull on that beach for years. I'm like, God damn, that is pretty brutal.
Mm.
But yeah, Veronica's like, there's going to be a bunch of fake PIs investigating this stuff. And then she starts having boring conversations with the yuppie normies at Wallace's party, talking about the hummus, talking about preschool. And then Nicole shows up.
Here's the thing I also have to say, because we've seen one other party. We've seen like the Aaron Eccles holiday party that they had.
Yeah.
I don't buy for 1 second that the parties are this lame, because there has not been that many. We haven't had boring people in Neptune.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Wallace is way
dark.
more on the boring side, though, because he's just like a high school teacher. Like, these are a bunch of like.
Every character that we
regular
interact with in this town has some weird edge to them. So, but I understand the point that they're trying to make.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is whenever I get.
She should be investigating every one of these people, because I think every one of them was hiding a kid in the wall.
This party is how I feel at when sorry if you're listening, but when I go to my sister's, she has a party and it's all of her like, old sorority friends. These are the kind of conversations that I'm like, oh yeah.
They never asked Veronica any like PI questions, because that's all I would be doing.
There's that one guy that talks about Charlie Chan movies and he's like, oh yeah. It's like that, right?
But I'm sorry, I'm like, wait, you were the Lily Kane one? You're with Logan Eccles, the celebrity that I would just have, I would have too many questions for her.
Fair enough. But while Veronica's having this one conversation with the lady talking about preschools for her kids, and she got pregnant so her older kid could get into this preschool, Nicole shows up and she's like, oh, that's nothing compared to Veronica's story with her kids. And they're like, oh, what happened to your thing? And then Veronica starts improvising a fake story about her twins, Hakeem and Olajuwon. And she's talking about how she named her kids that because she was just a big fan of the Houston Rockets. And she didn't think that she was gaming the system, but because the people see those names, they think that they're black or Muslim or both. that they just automatically let people in for diversity. And then 2 little blonde kids show up, and it's Hakeem and Olajuwon. And it's just, it makes the pregnant yuppie lady very uncomfortable.
I did find this thing very funny, that it's gaming the system, getting these kids in. And it's like, is gaming the system getting 2 black kids into a mostly white school? Is that what we're calling gaming the system? Because I feel like, because it's not like that school's got a ton of black kids in it. They would just be the diversity kids in it.
Yeah.
So that's not gaming the system. Oh, and maybe they get like a little bit of a scholarship. That's whatever.
They're doing a little affirmative action fucking gaming the system type thing.
Yeah, but I just the wording of gaming the system and affirmative action is like, no, the game's already rigged. That's why they have this thing involved. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. So then Veronica and Nicole, they're vaping some weed in the bathroom.
Why is Nicole at this party?
Yeah, I don't know. Does she know Wallace?
They sat next to each other at the beach thing.
Okay.
Which, if we go back to that beach explosion, I don't buy for a second that Wallace runs in the opposite direction of the explosion, leaving Veronica there.
Yeah, he's got a kid to worry about now, though.
I think his just good guy nature, he would have kind of dove on those 2 or helped. I don't think he would have just walked away and let Veronica slow-mo walk towards the explosion.
Wallace has really... He's just a fucking nice guy these days.
He's always been a nice guy.
He always has. He had that one little arc where he like was kind of cheating on, was it Jane? Yeah. But he's just the nice fucking guy.
Cheating on Firecracker from The Boys.
Yeah. But yeah, Veronica and Nicole are vaping weed in the bathroom, and Veronica's phone rings, and they make a bunch of fucking vibrator jokes, and Veronica flips over her purse. Her gun falls out.
Her purse has 3 things in it. She can't find her phone in her purse, but there's like literally 3 things in it.
A hairbrush, a gun, and her phone.
I was like, wait, you can't figure that out.
But Nicole sees the gun and her eyebrows raised. She's like, oh, shit. But it's a phone call. It's from Logan. He's not going to make it to the party. And Logan's like, are you high? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, she's like, Nicole's here. She had weed. And he's like, all right, well, neither you and Nicole can drive. And they're like, all right, fine. And then Logan apologizes to Veronica for looking at her texts, how he found out that Leo was texting her. And then they hang up. And Nicole's like, hey, you got a gun there, right? Can we shoot the gun? And Veronica's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Logan told me not to drive under the influence, but we're going to drive.
Yeah. We're going to drive and then shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So they drive to a construction site and they line up some bottles, and Veronica's shooting the gun. She hits all the bottles, hits every target. I want to see her in a fucking shooting match with Jason Stackhouse from True Blood now.
She should have been in the FBI.
Yeah, right. But Veronica asks Nicole, how did you end up owning Comrade Quack? Seems very out of your, doesn't seem like your style. Like you know, it's weird. Nicole's like, well, let me tell you a story. And this is going to be the most typical Veronica Mars story. I'm surprised you didn't investigate this several years ago, because it seems up your alley.
Right?
So anyway, I was working here at Comrade Quack's, and the old owner, this old Russian dude, he didn't provide adequate security for us. We'd have to walk through this parking lot in the dark alone. And one night I was walking in my car and I was attacked and raped. And so I sued this guy, and I sued him for all he had. Turns out all he had was Comrade Quack's. So I took over the bar, and that's how I became the owner of Comrade Quack's. And Veronica's like, great story. Here's my gun. And then Nicole, before she shoots any bottle, she's like, this is for the motherfucker that raped me. And pew! And this is for the motherfucker that took advantage of me while I was asleep. Pew! This is for the old Russian guy. She's saying this all coldly and killery.
Man,
Yep. We're back.
they're going real heavy-handed with, is Nicole the killer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's... I mean, did we have to... Is there not another traumatic storyline for a female character than sexual assault? Like, I understand it happens. I understand it. I feel like the show brings it up so much that it loses its weight.
Yeah, it loses the sting.
And like everyone, like she's like, well, he didn't provide adequate lighting, and that happened to me, so I sued him. I was like, did you guys catch the rapist? like
some guy named Mercer or something. I had to have my head shaved.
Yeah, like they're just so casual about. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, I know that it's something that happens. I know it's a trauma that a lot of women experience, but like, let's vary up the storylines.
Yeah,
you know, like it seems like that's always their ultimate bomb they're dropping. It's like, oh yeah, and I was raped. It's like, dude, can your dad have like just beat you or something? Like,
yeah, it's been a while since I watched The Wire, but it's like everyone wasn't like, oh, drug dealer shot him. Done. It was like they found other ways to have drama. Like there were different things happening. Like,
yeah.
It was
you fucking look at Marvel movies. Like Gamora was abused by Thanos.
Yeah, there's so many different things you can do, and like they don't all have to be murder or sexual assault either.
Yeah, like
the drama between like Veronica and Logan at times is just straight up drama.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just, I was like, did we? And she just blurts it out. She's like, yeah, that's what happened, and that's how I got a bar. It's like, oh, you couldn't have just got the bar.
I mean, you think about like every female character in this show.
Everyone.
That Veronica, Mac, Parker. Dude, like
you go to the movie and it's even like Gia. It's like, geez, man.
They go back to that well so often. It's like, it feels uncreative.
Yes.
Like you can't just do the same. And again, I know it's a problem. I know that a lot of women experience it, but like
this makes it matter of fact because it happens so much.
Yeah.
Like it's not even, there's something that happens like a few scenes later, and I'm just like, geez, man.
Right? I think it's in this scene. But so we then go to Clyde at Keith's office, and he's pissed because, you know, Patton Oswalt accused him of bombing the town, basically. He's like, dude, fucking investigate that Penn guy. Find out every girl that's ever rejected him. I want to fucking rub it in this guy's face what a loser he is. And Keith is like, hey, man, you better calm down. Like, this is just a pizza guy. Nobody believes him. You got to relax. Like, this guy's not a threat to you. And if there's anything that I learned listening to rap music, it's to not punch down. And I was like, is that in rap music?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I've heard that in comedy a bunch, but like, I don't remember that being a thing in Straight Outta Compton either.
Clyde's like, you listen to hip hop? Well, yeah. Veronica has it.
But Clyde's pissed because he's like, I just got out of jail. I'm just getting some level of respectability back. Like, and this is bad, man. This is bad for my reputation.
This is how you get respect in Neptune. Like, the most respected people in Neptune are the criminals. I'm not even joking. I wish I was, but it's
honestly,
true.
You're kind of right. But yeah, Clyde invites Keith to go shooting, and Veronica shows up, and Clyde leaves, and she's like, what the fuck was that about, Keith? Where are you going shooting? And Keith's like, we're going duck hunting. I'm trying to work him for some information. And Keith is trying to tie Clyde to like the real estate companies, the shell companies. And he's like, I just can't figure any of this shell company stuff out. Do you want to like check that out for me? Veronica's like, yeah, sure. And then Veronica lays out her entire theory on why she thinks Big Dick and Clyde are doing this stuff. She says that Big Dick wants to remake the boardwalk on a budget, so he enlists Clyde to soften the market with the harassment and the vandalism, and it's driven people out, but it's not fast enough, so they make bombs from Perry Walsh, who's their buddy from Chino, and once Perry Walsh gets discovered, they kill him, but they still have all these bombs lying around. So they keep going. And then Keith is like, all right, I'm almost there with you. But the big like fly in the ointment of this thing is the collar bomb, because the collar bomb is like Arkham Asylum levels of insanity. Like that is an intense bomb. And I don't know if like Clyde and Dick have the cojones to pull that off. And he's like, the person who does that, like they have to have some kind of level of expertise of like, you know, contraptions and like that's that. Like you said, it's like a saw bomb.
Yeah, it's a psychopath. Like the level of like construction. Like this is, if we were watching Buffy, I'd be like, anybody in the high school can make that in Buffy. But not here. This is
it's
like
Wallace. He wanted to be a mechanical engineer.
If it was Wallace, none of the bombs would go off. He'd be like, what? Hitting the remote. He'd be like the Joker outside, hitting the remote, wondering why the hospital's not blowing up. Like, Wallace, Wallace didn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
But also Clyde and Daddy Dick, he's like, I robbed banks, and they're like, now you're blowing heads off of kids. Like, come on, Veronica. That just feels like a real stretch.
So Veronica's like, yeah, you're kind of right. Then she gets a text message from Nicole. She's talking about how the old owner of Comrade Quacks, the Russian guy, he texted her and he wants her to give his nephew a job. And Keith is like, hey, who are you texting? She's like, Nicole's old boss, the old owner of Comrade Quacks that she sued in order to get ownership. He wants her to give his nephew a job. And he's like, the old owner? How she sued? Huh?
Well, Veronica says, oh, he sued her for not providing adequate security. And he goes, yeah. She was raped? And then
jumps up.
He's been in a cane hobbling extra slow. He hops up and hobbles across to his desk, his office, gets some paperwork, and then hobbles back. And I was just like, dude, what are we doing?
Hearing that Nicole was raped did more for Keith than any concierge medical service.
He was like the grandfather in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when the golden ticket was like, what? He hopped up so quick.
He starts dancing like Chris Brown. She was raped. Fucking, yeah.
Said it excitedly. Not like, oh no. No try. He was like, oh, this is great. Great news. This fits the theory I have now. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They make it such a plot point too. That's the thing.
Yeah. He's excited, not because she was raped, but because his now working theory is that Nicole might be the perp. Because every person that was killed came through Comrade Quacks. Like the douchey guy from the Sea Sprite.
And they all have a history of sexual assault.
Yeah. Perry Walsh sent a bomb to his ex-girlfriend with a bunch of misogynistic language.
Yeah.
Bryce was trying to roofie girls at Comrade Quacks. And he's like, all of these people, they're all linked to Nicole. Mm-hmm. And she hates, rapists. So
obviously she made a collar bomb.
I think the thing is like the second bomb is the one we don't know about, the volleyball beach bombing. Like we don't know who died.
Does he mention it in this? I
don't think so. Because the second thing that he references is Perry Walsh.
Yeah. No, I don't.
But Veronica doesn't want to believe it. Yeah. She's like, no, that's my friend. And then Keith is like, well, did Nicole ever mention anything about bombs? She's like, no, Dad, she wouldn't mention it, but wait a minute. She did say that her family was in the construction business. And Keith's like, demolition. And Veronica's like, and she was shooting my gun very angrily, like coldly talking about all the men that assaulted her. And Keith is like, and Veronica's like, okay. But why would she do that? Nicole's business, Comrade Quacks, hinges on spring break. Why would she destroy her livelihood like that? Keith is like, I don't know, but I'm just saying. And then they basically have like a bet, like, I think it's Daddy Dick. And Keith is like, it might be Nicole. And they're like, well, we'll see who the real bomber is.
I loved Veronica's like she wouldn't do this. Her whole business hinges on it. This sexually traumatized woman that's like shooting a gun, hating men, she wouldn't risk her financial future of this bar that basically just serves assaulting men. She wouldn't do that.
This woman who assaults people in her bar with a fucking brass knuckle glove, basically.
It's the perfect serial killer trap. You can bring them, find out who they are, and then hunt them down. Like, it's the...
Like, let me see your ID. Like, they now know where they live.
Yeah.
They know their name.
Like, it's... Yeah, I just... her rationale for this doesn't really track for me. But I do also think just because your family's in construction doesn't mean you learned how to make bombs.
My dad's in construction. I have no idea how to make bombs.
I don't think your dad would know how to make a bomb, really.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so then we go to Langdon and her number 2 guy.
This guy gets a lot of screen time, this number 2.
He comes in and he's like, hey, Langdon, things just got a lot weirder. And Langdon's like, why, what's up? He's like, we just got a note from someone claiming to be the bomber. And they start reading the note. It's like, I hope you and your feeble-minded officers enjoyed my first 4 bombings. Now the real fun begins unless you give in to my demands. And it's basically an ultimatum for the mayor of Neptune. Something about, there's something about Neptune prostituting itself every year, I guess, for spring break or whatever. And they don't tell us what the ultimatum is. They keep that a secret. And Langdon looks up at her number 2 and she's like, has anybody else seen this note? And the guy's like, I don't think so. And boy, oh boy, they love to keep this secret.
I love that he comes in and he's got gloves on and he's holding the letter because I guess it's just like the handwritten letter. They're going to dust it for fingerprints. And he goes to hand it to her and he's like, gloves to Chief Langdon? And then she has to put on the gloves before she touches it. And I was just like, are we making it that she's not aware of these things? Or like, what was that little line? I don't know. It's like when they did the Veronica thing where she's walking through and tinfoil has gloves on and she's like, gloves, why would you do that? And then she pulls her sleeves up a little bit. And I'm like, don't introduce that. Because I wouldn't even have thought it. If he handed it to her, I would have figured it was a copy or something.
Yeah. And it ultimately with Veronica didn't lead to anything.
Yeah. And this doesn't, it was like just a bit that also made no sense.
Unless Langdon's the bomber.
If Langdon was the bomber, what would be the point of her putting fingerprints on it or not?
Yeah, I don't know.
And like that's what I mean.
Are already all over it.
It's probably a nothing line, but it just made it seem like she's not as good at with her job or not like detailed oriented.
Yeah, but you then have Veronica at the office. There's a knock at the door, and it's Weevil. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Veronica?
The way he's standing and leaning in the doorway is so funny looking.
Yeah.
With his Timbs on.
And he thinks it's cruel of her to use a 19-year-old kid to get to him. And she's like, well, he had a knife to my throat and robbed me. And then he's like, well, do you know that if Juan Diego goes to prison, he's going to end up dead because he and his brother like took out 2 high-ranking cartel members or something. And if he goes to prison, there's people on the inside waiting to kill him. And Veronica's like, he should have fucking taken that into consideration before putting a knife to my throat. And I was like, good point. And Veronica's like, well, do you know why there's all this kind of bad stuff happening at the boardwalk? I feel like you've got some information. And Weevil's like, you're unbelievable. And Veronica goes, I think it's unbelievable that my dad and Cliff went to bat for you all those years ago to sue the
it was the Kane thing. It was the movie stuff.
Oh yeah, the Celeste Kane thing.
Yeah, it's movie spoilers here for anybody listening. You know, he got shot by Celeste Kane in the movie because he was going to help her, and she was scared and shot through the car and shot him, and then the cops planted a gun on him. So they were trying to clear him of those charges.
But Weevil settled
Mhm.
behind their back. He took a big payment behind Keith and Cliff's back. And he's like, dude, I had a wife and a daughter to think about. I needed the money. And Veronica goes, yeah, well, look how that turned out for you. You went back to crime and your wife and daughter left. And he's like, stop right there, Veronica.
That was cold by Veronica to dig at that.
Yeah.
Again, this is when I was saying the book stuff is canon because this stuff is covered in the book, which is insanity if you're watching the show. Because you're just like, what are they arguing about? Why do they not like each other now?
I mean, I feel like I got the gist of it. I don't need to read the book.
No, I mean, I got the gist of it, but it's like it's that missing gap of where we're like, why is he back at crime? Why is he running the PCHers? All of that is like between movie and this.
Yeah. So then Weevil gets a phone call from Hector, and he's like, the cops can't find the guy who filed a complaint against Juan Diego, so Juan Diego's kind of off the hook, and he leaves.
So Weevil came to accuse Veronica of putting in a complaint against Juan Diego, the guy who she stole the money from and who in last episode stabbed with her keys so deeply that it ripped through his jeans. But she didn't do it. So then she's in this like high and mighty position. Like, see, I'm not the worst person ever. I actually didn't turn Juan Diego in. And Weevil's like, I don't know. You're still probably a piece of shit. And then he walks out. A couple things here. One, Juan Diego's photo is at the police station of him taking a shit in the ice bucket. So he would be arrested on site just for that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what does that mean? I don't know what this other complaint that he has is. Also, if he can't risk going to Chino and getting arrested, maybe he shouldn't be robbing people on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, wait.
Veronica's point.
Like, I was like, wait, so he could go to jail for any day. And he's like, I can't go to Chino. They'll kill me. I'm like, stop doing crimes then. Like, this isn't Veronica's problem yet. Yeah. But like, he can go to jail anytime.
Bro, and it's like, it's not like he's doing like petty theft.
Yeah, he's doing
armed
robbery.
A knife to Veronica's throat.
He's doing armed robbery, like massive armed robbery and vandalism.
Yeah. And he's not even good at it. Like Veronica like tased him and he was done.
So next, I had to go to the Weevil. They're mad that Weevil settled behind Keith and Cliff's back. I don't know how that could be that bad.
Yeah.
It would make sense. He settles, he gets paid for getting shot and doesn't have to go to court, doesn't have to deal with unless he took a plea of like, he probably took a plea that made him seem more guilty and had to do some time, which I would assume, which is the system is all fucked up. So a lot of people plead guilty to stuff that they're not just because it's better than the risk of him being in jail for 5 years for fake charges.
Yeah.
Now, before we got on this podcast, I've stumbled across something that reminded me that Veronica and Keith also took a settlement from the Canes for $50,000 to sign an NDA so that they could never sue them, that the mom stole.
Yeah.
Hypocritical much?
Oh my God, yeah. God damn.
So their whole thing is they're mad at Weevil for taking a settlement. They did the same thing.
Yeah.
This show, man. This show seems to forget the things that they did.
I mean, I forgot that Logan and Leo knew each other. Or at least ran into each other.
I think some people tried to say also that maybe it was a blind drop off for Leo and Logan when he gave them money. I pushed back on that because I remember Leo saying, I sold it to Logan because I knew he wasn't going to push the tapes out. He wouldn't want to like share them on the internet when he was talking to Keith. So he knew he sold them to Logan Eccles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
So anyway, we go to a murder head meeting. They're looking at the letter that Langdon was reading earlier. They're investigating it. They're looking at the fonts. Don goes down this whole path of like one word is like colored blue. Mm-hmm. He's like, blue is purple. Purple is green. The next bomb will be somewhere green. And Patton Oswalt is like, and you make fun of my fucking theories, dude. Your theory is dog shit.
I was happy that they were actually trying to figure something out.
I wrote here, Patton Oswalt thinks Don's theory is fucking stupid, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what does he say? Something about like the serial killer's purple is green. The joke, I'm just like, bro, what? But then all the murder heads like make fun of Patton Oswalt's big dick theory, which I'm like, but that one actually may have legs. Like that one actually makes sense. There's motive. Like you're talking about green is purple and purple is like, what are you fucking talking about?
It's like Zodiac killer stuff and like trying to read through the letters and figure out the code. It's exactly what I think the murder heads would try to do.
Yeah, but Patton Oswalt thinks that this note is a fake. It's a phony.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks it's some, college kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we see the mayor with Langdon, and he also doesn't think the note is real. He thinks it's a prank by some college kid at Hearst College with too much time on his hands. And Langdon and the mayor's assistant are like, I don't think that it's a fake. And also, I don't think you really have a choice. I think that you have to do the ultimatum that's in this letter that we aren't telling what it is out loud. I think that you have to do it. And the mayor's like, no, but think of my political career and how will I look to the public? And they're like, they actually might think that you're a hero for doing what you're doing if you do this thing that we can't say.
No, I knew they weren't going to do what Black Mirror episode 1 did, which is similar to this. There's like a girl kidnapped and is a threat to a politician, and the politician has to do something insane.
Doesn't he have to what is it, like fuck a pig or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, this isn't going to go Black Mirror dark. But I was like, it's got the Black Mirror vibes. I was like, let's see what Neptune's version of this is.
Yeah. So Veronica's reading the newspaper. Big front page story about the mayor. Keith thinks that this letter is phony as well. The ultimatum letter. Veronica wasn't able to find anything about the shell corporations. They need to hire somebody with actual computer chops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they keep hinting at these computer chops, and Mac, they don't.
They haven't, in all this time, they haven't figured out someone outside of Mac that can do. How have they been doing their job?
I mean, I feel like this is like the second or third time that they reference like, we need somebody with computer skills, but not Mac, because she's in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she asked Logan to do the thing.
Oh, you know what? I guess they don't have internet in Istanbul.
Oh yeah, you're right. But then Veronica's like, "Are you cooking something, Dad?" And he's like, "No." And she goes into the kitchen area, and there's a fire. She extinguishes it, and Keith looks confused, and he forgot that he put his breakfast burrito. Now I didn't understand this.
Well, he turned on the toaster oven, but he never put the burrito inside of it, so it's sitting on the top, getting hot because the toaster oven's heating up. It's a really weird setup for it.
Why couldn't he have just put the burrito in the toaster?
He forgot to put it in there. But you mean like why, show-wise, why couldn't he have just put it in there and left it in there for too long? Yeah, because then you don't get the fire on the top that's easily to extinguish and then reset for the production, I guess. And I guess it would have been a stove if they were at their apartment together, but they don't live together. And I guess Keith lives in a house still. I don't know where Keith lives.
Could that breakfast burrito have caught on fire top of the
plate?
Toaster?
The plate was on top.
Okay.
I could see the paper plate heating up and catching on fire.
Okay, because I was like, how is this even?
But Keith head hung low is probably one of my favorite reaction acting moments of his, because he looked so hurt and confused, and it doesn't come across as like, it doesn't trigger my sadness as much as it's like so funny to see him go blank and stare down after he's been like completely lucid,
He's doing a jig hearing that Nicole got raped.
The funniest part for me, though, is they haven't made him do something forgetful that I'm like, oh, this isn't just a guy that had a lapse.
Yeah.
Leaving a stove on, sure, people have done it. It's very minor, but I think it's funny because it's these minor forgetful things that he just reacts to, like, I've lost everything.
Yeah.
I can't even do anything. I'm like, you're doing scams and pretending to be drunk and fooling people, and then you're like, yeah, I forgot to put the burrito in. He's like, oh God.
I mean, I know people way younger than me that have left the stove on.
Yeah.
It's called ADHD, Keith.
Yes. I have done that like so much, or like, oh shit, the fridge isn't closed all the way, or something like that.
Yeah. No, dude, I've been like cooking something and I just like can't hear the stove anymore. Like I have water boiling and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, because you start doing a bunch of other stuff. They were he literally went in the room and they're like yelling across, like solving a case.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny at the end if they were like, wait, you don't have loud memory, you just have ADHD.
Yeah. He's like, oh, thank God. I mean, he could. He's got a lot of stuff on his mind, man. He's investigating murders and rapes and all this other shit and bombings. Rats in a grocery store.
I understand what the show's doing, though. The show's like, hey, he's having like this neurological impairment. So it's fine, but it's just like they never jump it up big enough for it. It's like he left it on top of the thing.
Yeah. But Veronica, she sees him and she's like, what's going on with you, Dad? And he's like, oh. She's like, you're not like this. This isn't like you. And before they can get in any conversation about this, Matty Ross shows up. Mm-hmm. She comes in. She's apologizing because she told Pat and Oswald their theory about Big Dick and Clyde. And Matty wants to help.
He did not need to bug them to get it. She literally told it to him.
Yeah. But Matty wants to help. And Veronica's like, do you know any good computer hackers? And she's like, as a matter of fact, I do. Then she's like, I do know this guy. I think he's got a crush on me, but I don't really talk to him or know him that well. And Veronica's like, you want to fucking seduce him into doing work for you?
Veronica takes off her push-up bra and says, put this on.
Suit up.
Suit up. Snitch. Snap in the back.
Oh my God, dude. That's so fucking
It's
funny.
so true, though. It is.
Yeah.
Gross.
So it shows Matty at Neptune High. She's about to go on a field trip with Wallace, and he's all jazzed because they're going to some kind of like aviation or science museum or whatever. He's like, don't you know that there's this plane there?
Has Wallace ever been on a plane?
But Matty is looking at the hacker dude who's sitting across the row in the bus. And Wallace needs the hacker kid to do some kind of computer thing for him too. Matty then cozies up to the hacker kid, and Wallace takes notice of this, and he's like listening in on their conversation because Matty's like, do you know anything about real estate? Like all these companies are trying to like buy my dad's property. And I just don't know anybody. I just need somebody with computer skills to do research on that. I want to know who they are. And this kid, his name is Owen.
He looks a little bit like a poor man's Corny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Owen's like, I have computer skills. I can help you. Just Veronica sending Matty on a path of using men.
I wrote this scene as gross manipulation, but they make it seem like it's passing the torch of Veronica Mars' greatness. Because the whole time we got Wallace looking, and Wallace is just like,
he starts smirking.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Owen, you're in for it, my guy.
And I'm like, they're trying so hard to make this Matty of Veronica Mars 2.0, but she's not in the show enough. She doesn't do enough. I don't see it.
Yeah. But Owen agrees to help her with the real estate thing. And then we go to one of my favorite scenes in this whole episode. Just a good time.
You love this character.
I fucking love Cliff McCormick so much.
You love this sex worker purchasing, getting conned out of files that eventually don't matter at all in a whole season. Character.
He's got a great voice. He's got a great head of hair, too.
What does he voice? He's
Fairly Odd Parents.
How long was that show on? I never really got into that.
I never did either, but I know a lot of people that did.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little past our time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that show was on for a while.
It's a good job. You know what?
He voice acted a bunch. He has such a voice.
You know what I discovered the other day is that Jaleel White, the guy who plays Urkel, in Family Matters, voiced Sonic the Hedgehog in that like Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that came out in the 90s.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I used to watch that show.
I didn't know he was the voice of Sonic.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
God damn. But anyway, Cliff is in court and he's defending a sex worker. And he's like, look, Your Honor, there was no money that changed hands because my client has a veterans fly for free policy. And so this guy the John that hired her didn't pay anything. So I think rather than bring her up on charges, I think we should be saluting her patriotism because she's hooked up with, Iraq, Korea, Vietnam, even one intrepid World War II veteran. It's like she's doing a great service to our nation. And then the judge is like, all right, Cliff, case is dismissed. He's like, thank you, Your Honor, and God bless America. It's like, fuck yeah, dude.
And then everybody in the court stands up and salutes her as she walks up.
Now, the lady that's the sex worker looks familiar, too. Like, I feel like she's acted in something else.
Maybe. She doesn't get a line.
She doesn't have any lines, but I was like, this face looks familiar.
Well, this whole bit is set up so when Veronica sees Keith or sees Cliff, she goes, see, taking a knee is patriotic because that was the time of Kaepernick. And I was like, they really wanted to squeeze that in there.
Yeah, topical.
Yeah.
Then Cliff goes, harlots?
He's like, I got to get home for harlots. It's like it's streaming. He's like, no, I watch it on the dot. 8 p.m.
Me and the missus, we have to watch it.
Oh, the missus bit. Oh, man.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Missus is his dog or his cat or dog?
Dog.
His dog and her dog is named Pony, and they have bits about that.
Yeah, I did like that Veronica's like, you named your dog the missus? And he's like, your dog's name is fucking Pony. She's like, all right, touche.
Yeah.
But Veronica's there to ask him about Juan Diego. And because that's Cliff's client. And he's like, oh, Juan Diego, all the charges were dropped against him. So I put that one in the win column. And Veronica's like, well, new charges were filed against him by me because I need to use Juan Diego to get to Weevil to get info about the bombs. And Cliff is like, God damn, dude, that's pretty fucking low.
It's so fucking wild and low. Weevil just came in. You just tried to take the high road. Like, see, I'm not the worst person. I didn't manipulate. And then you just go and do it. You do the thing that he didn't like.
Veronica's like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good idea. Thanks for the tip.
The fact that she openly says, I need it so I have some leverage over Weevil.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, geez, man.
Yeah, Cliff's like, I'm shady, but that's pretty fucking shady, my guy.
Yeah.
But then the conversation takes a turn. And Veronica's like, hey, you and my dad hang out a lot. Has he ever mentioned memory loss issues with you? And Cliff is like, I gotta get home. And Veronica follows him. She's like, no, for real, dude. Like, has he talked to you about this? And Cliff is like, I think you should maybe more so have a conversation with your dad about this than me. I'm not the appropriate channel to go through. Mm-hmm. And then Cliff walks away. Veronica's left there, and we have a nice dramatic moment of her in a frame within a frame archway.
Meanwhile, she could have literally just asked him when Matty left the room.
Yeah.
When you were cleaning up the fire mess, spraying down the fire.
So then we have the scene of Mayor in a car with his wife. He's wearing a robe, and he's all nervous. He's like, what will the public think about me? Why would anyone want me to do this? I'm worried about what people will think of me. And the wife is like, you got nothing to be ashamed of. He's like, I wish I would have worked out more. The wife is like, your body is beautiful. It's a wonderland.
Basically.
And there's a crowd waiting outside. And so the mayor gets out, takes off his robe, starts walking toward the crowd naked. And apparently what the bomber letter wanted him to do was to streak across the town naked. So he starts running through the streets nude.
Logan did this for losing a bet in college.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But then we go to Alonzo and Dodie, which my notes auto-corrected to Jody once again. But they're eating breakfast. They're at a coffee shop talking about how many more of their cartel members have ended up dead, like 9 more or something. But they're there and they're drinking lavender lattes, and they had this very philosophical conversation about like, dude, isn't it crazy that like we're 1 hour away from this town basically, and we could have been born here, but instead we were born in wherever we were born, and our life is full of crime and death and drugs and danger. And like these people here, they have no idea. They're drinking lavender lattes. This is so nice. And then they're like, this is normal. Mm-hmm. This is normalcy. This is normal for them. All of this is so normal. And then they see the mayor, who has now attracted a group of shriekers, running with him down the street. And then they look outside and they're like, all right, maybe this isn't so normal.
I need to say, this is the only scene that we have of Lonzo and Dodie.
Yeah.
Delightful them drinking. I love Alonzo taking a sip of the latte. He's got a little bit of lavender. I'm not a big fan of lavender and stuff, but fine. And then he gives it to Dodie. Dodie's like, delightful. And then he's like, I'll have one of those. And it's just really funny to see these murderers just having this. It's very like Pulp Fiction style, Yeah. So they talk about being normal here. And I think the better joke, instead of having the mayor and some people streak, is more of the crime and another explosion. Like this place is not
goes
normal.
Off across the street.
People's heads are getting blown up.
They're getting blown off, and then Alonzo and Dodie are chopping people's heads off.
But even if they weren't doing the killing, people were killing people in Neptune all the time. Neptune is a horrible, horrible place.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about not seeing them anymore is the end of last episode, we saw the guy in a dune buggy see a guy come out of the desert.
Yeah. Tawny's family, yeah.
We don't get any follow-up of that. We also don't get any follow-up of them asking Malou for the money after he called off the hit. We assumed possibly that Logan wasn't the worst naval officer ever, and that he would have picked up on the social cues that Maloof was making and followed him to the hotel that he went to. But no, I guess he didn't, because that's no follow. It's insane that we don't follow up on the big parts of last episode with Dodie and Alonzo.
Yeah, I remember us being like, so Logan definitely followed Daniel Maloof to that thing after seeing how weird he was. I guess not, because he's just like, yeah, I'm working late with Daniel Maloof tonight. Like,
yeah, he was like, he's being a little stir crazy. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, dude, we don't even see Daniel Maloof or any of the Maloofs in this episode.
No, it's just, did he pay these guys the money after last episode? Like, what is going on? Is that guy that just stumbled out? The guy that just stumbled out at the end of last episode, was that actually the hillbilly? Did he get? Is he in the like?
I'm pretty sure it is the hillbilly.
I think it was, but it feels like with 4 episodes left, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm with you. I did like that he's like, lavender, like the flower? In this coffee?
Yeah.
You gotta be shitting me.
You can get a lavender latte in Mexico.
Yeah. So anyway, Veronica's with Cliff, and they're looking at the mayor stuff, and Cliff's like, oh, the mayor's got a big dick. And Juan Diego shows up with a cop, and he sees Veronica with Cliff. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And Cliff's like, I'm your court-appointed attorney. And she's like, why the fuck is she here? She's like, I got some questions for you. So the cop leaves.
Here's a question. Quick question. Did Cliff not meet Juan Diego on the first charge?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what is this? Why do
weird.
people keep introducing themselves like they don't know who people are?
Maybe because the charges got dropped, he never had to go to court or something.
But then he wouldn't even have been Veronica's. It's no way the charges got dropped so quick that Weevil was able to hear about the charges, confront Veronica about the charges, and then say they got dropped again. Like, it's just stop saying hi, everybody. You know each other.
Yeah. So Veronica's like, I want some information from you. And he's like, well, too bad, like all my charges got dropped. And Veronica's like, well, I'm pressing charges against you because you held a knife to my throat and robbed me. So I have the power here to put you in Chino where people are waiting to kill you. And if you tell me what I want to know, I'll drop the charges. And he's like, holy fucking shit, dude. Like, that's crazy.
She's willing to let him die over a hunch that she has. Like, not hard evidence. She's like, I have a hunch.
Yeah. But he's like, if I tell you the information that you want to know, I'm just as dead. She's like, I don't care. Where'd the money come from? And Juan Diego's like, bro, don't you care that, like, if I go to prison, I'll end up dead? And Veronica's like, don't you care about bombings? I think that you have something to do with these bombings. There's other people dying. Why should I care about you?
He's like, I have nothing to do with these bombings, lady.
Yeah, and he's like, I haven't done anything. I got nothing to do with them. She's like, sit down and answer my questions. And he's like, fine. And she pulls out the crispest $100 bills that she's ever touched in her life, $600. And she goes, if you tell me my information, I'll drop the charges and I'll give you this $600. You can leave Neptune and start a new life for yourself.
Yeah. It's like, that's not happening with $600. If he could have done that with the $600 he had, no way.
So he sits down. He's like, all right, well, Weevil gives us a yard for every Spring Breakers wallet we take. And then Veronica pulls up a picture of Clyde.
When he says a yard, what does that mean? Does that mean
$100, I guess?
Okay, that's what I thought too.
So she shows him a picture of Clyde. And she's like, do you know this guy? And he's like, I can't keep track of everybody that comes in. He looks maybe familiar. And then Veronica stands up and she starts doing like when he held the knife to my throat, I just thought of it. And he's like, all right. Yeah, the guy's name is Clyde or something. He's the money man. He comes in every week. He gives Weevil money to pay us for robbing the Spring Breakers. And I don't know much about him, but I know that Weevil told us he's not somebody that we want to mess with. And Veronica's like, thank you.
I was like, is this information really? Like, I mean, I guess it is new info, but I guess it does tie Clyde to the robberies.
To the PCHers, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clyde, he and Keith are duck hunting, drinking some beers. Keith has never been duck hunting. They talk about their first concert, and Clyde gets a call, and it's, I don't care, tell that son of a bitch he's gone. If he's still there when I get back, he won't enjoy the encounter. And he's like, this guy's been renting from us. He's got a boa constrictor and it keeps getting loose. And Keith is like, ha, ha, ha. Clyde's like, all right, I'm going to go piss. So while Clyde is pissing, Keith grabs Clyde's phone and he starts going through it and taking pictures with his phone of Clyde's text messages. Mm-hmm. And then Clyde comes back and he's like, hey, man. Keith hears it. Mm-hmm. Keith puts his phone away. Clyde's like, hey, man, what are you doing? Keith is like, man, I'm getting old, man. I can't get my phone to open. And Clyde's like, that's because that's my phone. It's not going to recognize your thumbprint. It's going to recognize mine because you're holding my phone. And Keith is like, see that? I'm losing it. I'm losing it, Clyde. And Clyde looks at him kind of like, uh-huh. I
hate that Keith also doesn't know if he is losing it, but then also plays like he's losing it. Mm-hmm. He uses it to his advantage But also, if you're losing it, you won't even know if you're able to.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting that both phones look identical. If they both have iPhones, it's no way.
Yeah.
Unless it was just like, whatever. But
so Keith comes back to the office and he's telling Veronica about the texts that he took pictures of. And he's like, you want to know what they say? It's basically Dick and Clyde trying to figure out who did the bombing. There's going to be no Neptune left owning after if these bombs keep going off. And they're both theorizing about who's behind the bombings. And Veronica's like, yeah, but could it be possible that Clyde left his phone out on purpose for you to see that? And Keith's like, yeah, it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And Veronica's like, because I have some evidence that ties Clyde to all the vandalism going on around town. Clyde's been paying Weevil and the PCHers to do crimes. And Veronica thinks Matty Walsh was right about Perry Walsh doing the bombings and all this stuff. And then Keith looks at Veronica's desk. He's like, I also see that you've been digging through my personal files. And Veronica's like, yeah, dude. I found your memory journal. She asked him, are you going to tell me about this? I'm worried about you. And Keith is like, I just didn't want to scare you. You know, I am having some memory issues. This is like worrying to me, but I'm going to this medical place. But I don't know if you would think that I'm like on the take from Clyde or whatever. And Veronica's like, dude, if he's offering you top flight medical care, you fucking take that shit, dude. Like, I know that you can't be bought, but like, I'm worried about your memory more than anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Then Keith starts getting all teary eyed and he's like, dude, I'm worried because I'm worried that I'm going to like blow a case or get one of us hurt. Like something bad could happen with my memory loss, dude. And I think it might be time for me to hang it up. And Veronica's like, what? Hang it up? You're 56. Which I was like, oof.
I'm like, this guy's been shot at, attacked by the police in his own town. Like,
Car crash, can barely walk.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, maybe go to like some more paper route. Like, there's jobs that he could do maybe behind the desk where he's not actually doing the legwork.
Walmart greeter.
No, I mean, I think he still has like usefulness in a consultant level of PI work as opposed to, you know what, start a new PI thing, meet some of the people that take the PI test and like train up some new people, maybe. Like, yeah, do like that kind of thing. Like there's a position to transition to.
Now, I was surprised that Veronica said that he was 56 because I thought that he was playing older, because I also am looking at Veronica and I think that she's like older, like late 30s.
She is late 30s. That's what Leo mentions. That's what she's playing. She's playing late 30s. But it tracks.
But 56, how old would he have been having Veronica then?
20 something.
I don't know, man. Because if he's 20 when he had Veronica and she's 36, like that math don't add up. Did he I mean, it's literally possible, but I think that he was like older.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You would think that. I don't know. It's so weird because we don't really know when the mom ended up hooking up with Keith and then hooking up with the Kane.
Yeah.
Was it like right after high school?
I have no idea, man.
Did he go to college?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
I don't think
did he have Veronica while he was in college?
Yeah, he had Veronica when he was 21. Let's just say that. And then, he had her. He became a cop, worked his way up the sheriff super quick. Yeah.
I love that Veronica's solution to all this, though, is like, I think you just need a vacation.
Yeah, that'll help.
So then Veronica starts ranting to Logan about this back at home.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, can you believe this? Keith I thought that he just wanted to retire. But not only does he want to retire, he wants to shut down the entire Mars Investigations PI business. And he wants me to like stop being a PI and all this stuff. And Logan's like, I mean, maybe he wants to see you leave Neptune because this place is a shithole and one of the worst places on Earth. And he wants you to be happy. And Veronica's like, I can't fucking deal with you and your goddamn therapy speak, you goddamn therapy speaking Logan motherfucker.
I wrote down that Logan is being the most supportive boyfriend ever for anyone who's not Veronica. Like anybody else, they're like, damn, thanks, Logan. But
and then he's like, well, look, let me tell you about this play called The Crucible. And then she's like, ugh, Broadway Logan's even worse than therapy Logan. And Logan's like, just fucking shut up and listen to this story.
He's like, I love you. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. But he tells a story about like the guy from The Crucible who, you know, they wanted, he was being punished, but he didn't do anything wrong, but they keep putting rocks on him. And all he keeps saying is more weight until it crushes him. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, Veronica, that guy is you. You cannot tell me that you are happy living in Neptune and you act like you don't have the power to change your circumstances, but you do. You can leave. You were about to be a lawyer at Man and Man or whatever in the movie. You're about to be working with Jamie Lee Curtis. You're about to have a Freaky Friday, my dude. And he's like, look, I love you, but like, this life cannot be what you want. But if it is, and also like, if I'm not what you want, just tell me right now. And Veronica's like, no, it is what I want. And Logan thinks that Veronica doesn't do what she wants. And what would you be doing if me and Keith weren't around? And Veronica goes, I'd put my fucking head in an oven because the two people that I care about the most wouldn't be around anymore. And then Logan hugs her. He's like, all right. Here we go.
I thought that was insane that her answer was self-harm.
Yeah.
That seems like the most like manipulative tactic that, like, I know it's not done in that way, but that's like that. If you leave me, I will do this thing. And I was like, oh, they kind of just did that in a way where they want her to be like, I care so much about you, but it did not hit right. But I will say I am torn about Mars Investigations being shut down because I think the town needs it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff that just would go unsolved or uninvestigated without it. What I'm trying to say is like, is it worth it for Veronica to be miserable for a couple of other people in Neptune to be actually saved? Like how many times would Weevil have been in prison if it wasn't for like Veronica coming through, or like certain people that would just like be arrested or not solve stuff if she wasn't around? So it's like her being miserable stops a bunch of other people from being miserable.
I mean, yeah,
it's a tricky. That's where I'm always torn with like, she is doing a good deed.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of paid her debt at this point, though. You know, like the debt that she would feel. Like, I don't know if she.
No, I don't think
like
she feels like a debt.
It.
I don't think she feels a debt that she's owed to Neptune or anything. Like, she actually enjoys this in a weird way.
She's addicted. Remember in the movie?
Yeah, but also like Neptune needs a Mars Investigations. It needs something, because if you're just leaving it up to Langdon and the cops and Vinnie Van Lowe, this town, we saw the town fall apart when she wasn't there. She came back and it was like RoboCop,
it's
Detroit.
It was fire.
It was post-apocalyptic. So in that, I'm torn in that way.
I mean, you do your lawyer thing, you move to fucking, you know, somewhere else, and then you bring your dad with you, and you bring Logan with you. Go to Australia with Duncan.
I did like that Logan was like, you can leave me, man, if you need to. Like, he's like, figure yourself out.
But I mean, she also just thinks that everything is a conspiracy against her when she was talking to Leo last episode. Like, he only wanted to propose to me so he could prove that he loved me more. And like all this shit. She's like,
yeah.
And she's so like, oh, all that therapy, hippy dippy nonsense. And Logan's like the most grounded person in the show at this point.
He could come a long way from bum fights.
Yeah. And he's even like trying to like help Veronica, and she's like, oh, don't give me that bullshit. Yeah. And I'm like, Like,
Here's
what
the
is
thing.
going to be her breaking point, though, too?
Yes. And here's the thing. Are we supposed to be on the side of Logan or on Veronica's side? Like, what does the show want us to do?
I think the show wants us to be on the side of Logan because the show is painting Veronica as like not happy and broken. And Logan seems like chill and happy.
But the show always paints her as that. But then, like how they do in
She
the
ends up
movie,
being right.
Yeah, in the movie, they try to make it be like, yeah, but she needs this addiction. Fuck you, Piz. You know? Like,
I think it's like she's a fundamentally broken person, but it's interesting. So cool.
yeah, but I wonder how many people get that she's broken and not like, oh, why they keep giving her shit. I think the show presents a broken person, but doesn't. It doesn't.
Batman's a broken person, but we love Batman.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like anti-hero type characters, you know, like Breaking Bad, like Walter White. People are rooting for him and mad that his wife wants him to stop killing and selling drugs and murdering people. People are like, why is she getting in the way? And like, I know you're following a main character, but you do realize he is the bad guy. They want he's engaging. Tony Soprano's engaging to watch, but they are the bad guy.
Dude, even Death Note. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I wish Light Yagami didn't die or whatever. It's like, bro is a fucking serial killer.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the author of Death Note was like, it really bothers me that like so many people are sad that Light.
I think that happens with storytelling and when you have a main character. Like people follow that main character and they get attached to it and form that parasocial bond. And they're like, I'm with that character all the way through, regardless of what they do. And if anything is going against them, then that is wrong. Yeah. So I wonder, there have to be people watching this thinking Logan's being a dick for being supportive, even though they probably didn't think he was a dick when he was just being straight up mean and aggressive to her. And they were like, I hope they date.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like any hero is like a broken person, like Spider-Man, Batman.
Superman
like
has everything perfect.
His whole family, his whole planet.
He's got a nice newspaper job that will never go away.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just because Veronica is super unlikable. Like, what's the disconnect with like her being a broken person versus these other ones? Because there's got to be something, because
I think the show treats it where her brokenness is her superpower.
Okay. Yeah. There's like obvious get out signs too. Like she escaped, but she's like addicted to the police drama.
It is tricky to come back to this and it's like, hey, let's get out again. And she's like, he wants me to leave. I'm like, he literally said that to you at the grocery store, in the movie.
Yeah.
In season 3 when you were going to college. He's
like all throughout.
Yes. He's never wanted you to follow in this path. And now she's like acting, I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, we have Vinnie Van Lowe. He's looking through the Comrade Quack's lost and found, looking for the ring.
Gotta give it to him for his dedication to the search.
He's looking through this cardboard box. He's like, this is where all the crap lost and found stuff is. Is there any like high value lost and found?
He should have a flashlight and just be looking underneath the bar and underneath fridges. Wouldn't it be on her finger? You think she just lost it?
I don't know, but he finds this crazy like 90s windbreaker.
Classic.
Puts it on. He sees Nicole. He starts asking her about the bombings. He's like, I think the killer is picking the victims at Comrade Quack's because all the victims. I was like, all right, Vinnie Van Lowe.
Yeah, you figured out what I figured out last episode.
Yeah, and he was like, can I have security footage of the first day of spring break? And Nicole's looking at him like, do I know you? And then a bomb goes off at Comrade Quack's.
Finally, a surprising explosion.
Yeah.
They didn't tease it. They didn't give us voiceover. It just happens.
We get a Nicole fucking D-Day on the beach, her in shock, fucking Saving Private Ryan moment.
Now, the way they do this, because they cut to a commercial break after this, like They made it seem like Vinnie Van Lowe was exploded.
I wrote, did Vinny die?
Yeah.
Because like the explosion shoots out and it like hits him in the back. And he like raises his hands. He's like, oh. So I was like, oh no.
Yeah. But no.
No, he's just talking to Langdon after that.
Yeah.
He's full of spring in his step. He's like, hey, let me ask you some questions about blah, 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 blah.
No.
I'm like, this motherfucker.
These dudes don't have any like, hey, I almost just died.
Yeah, doesn't have a scrape on him.
He's a little dusty. Little soot. Little
the
soot on the windbreaker.
Saved
the
him.
windbreaker it kept them together. What an ad for windbreakers, dude.
That the forcible wind of the bomb. He was protected.
I'm surprised they didn't make a joke like that. It's
honestly missed opportunity.
That seems like something he would have said too.
It does. But no. He starts asking Langdon questions because Langdon's like, hey, what happened? When did the bomb go off? He's like, oh, it went off about this time. Now, in your investigation, did it go off in the men's room or the women's room? And she's like, I'm not fucking asking. I'm the one asking questions here. And he's like, and then she says, no one died. There's 3 people in critical condition. And there's more nails like from the other bombings, like the forensics people are showing them. And then Vinny takes out his phone, takes a picture. He's like, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Then Veronica shows up asking Nicole how she's doing. And then Langdon's like, hey, this is a crime scene. You can't be here. And Nicole's like, I asked her to come here. She's my friend. And she's like, well, you got to leave, Veronica. And Veronica's like, all right, fine. They do some banter with Vinny. And then Veronica steals a nail from the crime scene. Because the nails are matching up.
Yeah, these nails that from these explosions are very interesting because it seems like a cluster bomb or like a grenade because it's the shrapnel and the concussive impact of the explosion that will like do it. But now it's just like these nails that are just on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, these nails also have more. They could have used them for Comrade Quax's like construction something.
Nah, I don't think it would be just on the floor.
So you think there's like nails in the bomb?
Yeah, I mean, it's just bombs that are in these nails are at every explosion site. So
yeah,
it's there. I do love that they're just common hardware nails though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I remember Penn saying something like it had to be Maloof because this thing was constructed in this one place.
Tribes or something.
In this one part of some other state in Dakota or something. Yeah. But now it's just like, hey, these are just common everyday walk into a hardware store, grab a handful of these nails.
So Patton Oswalt comes home, grabs a beer, puts on his after work music, which is just sex vibes.
Dude, he's got the best day shift pizza delivery job.
Yeah.
You would think the night would be where you make the big bucks.
Yeah. But the murder head lady, Carol, she comes knocking on his door and she has a theory about the stuff, the wording from the letter, prostitute yourself. It's very odd phrasing, isn't it? Who talks like that? Well, let me tell you who talks like that. Big Dick Casablancas, because I went on his social media and I saw at least 5 examples of him using similar phrasing, prostituting yourself, whoring yourself out, blah, blah, blah. And it's just on his Twitter account a bunch. So Carol's like, I think you were right, Patton Oswalt, about your theory about it being Big Dick Casablancas. And then they hug, and then they start getting fucking hot and heavy with it.
I thought when he went to kiss her, she was going to pull back.
I thought so too. She was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But no, they start going for it. Patton Oswalt throws her on his bed, and she's like, ow, something's like stabbing me in the back. I thought it was going to be one of the nails, but it's not.
I honestly thought Veronica was there because of the first scene, the scene where she picks up the nail and goes, aha. I thought she was going to go to Penn and ask him about something, but they really don't respect him at all. So I figured Veronica was going to be here.
No.
Yeah.
Carol gets up off the bed. Something hurt. What's on your bed? Penn uncovers his bed. There is the dead duck in his bed. So Clyde planted the dead duck in there because he just went duck hunting with Keith. And Patton Oswalt's like, oh my God, what the fuck is that all about?
Now, how is he going to get the mood back?
Right.
Is he gonna move?
Baby, let's just move to the couch. You got this couch over here.
Yeah. She's so turned on because she thinks Penn is right about the Clyde thing. The Clyde and Big Daddy Dick thing. It makes sense that he would write this letter to embarrass the mayor after last episode's ending.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous game that he's playing, though, putting his stamp on the bomb thing, because if the mayor figures this out, he could be like, I'm just going to arrest you as an accomplice of the bomber. Like,
yeah.
So this also made me think that Daddy Dick and Clyde are not the bombers, more so because of this.
So I thought this is where the episode was going to end.
Oh, no, this isn't big enough.
But we then have Matty outside Veronica's house. Veronica comes home, and Veronica's like, how'd you find out where I lived? And then Matty lays out her whole own PI work thing, and Veronica's looking at her like, there's some potential here. Like,
they're trying so hard to spin her off into baby Veronica Mars, and it's just not there. Just not there.
But Matty tells her, Owen, my hacker friend, did some digging, found out all of the out-of-state buyers for the boardwalk thing are shell corporations. They're all owned by Phoenix Land Trust. And Veronica goes, Beaver. And Matty's like, no. Owned by somebody named Cassidy Casablancas. And Veronica's like, well, yeah, that's Beaver. And after Beaver died, the ownership of Phoenix Land Trust transferred to Big Dick Casablancas. And Phoenix Land Trust has been buying a bunch of property over the last 6 months. Owen made a list. Nicole sold Comrade Quacks after the first bombing. So the ownership is going to transfer to Big Dick Casablancas after spring break is over. So Nicole didn't care if Neptune was buried under a pile of rubble because she was getting out of Dodge.
I hate this scene. I kind of hate this scene for a couple reasons. Not because they're trying to spin off Matty into her own Veronica Mars spinoff. The Matty.
You want to watch Ross Investigation?
Yeah. One. So Matty did this investigation into Cassidy Beaver Casablancas and didn't discover that he exploded a mayor and all that stuff. You would go down that rabbit hole and be like, wait, what does this guy do? Wait,
yeah.
Dick Casablancas' son blew up a bunch of people, a school bus full of kids, blew up the mayor, and there's nothing here about he tried to shoot you on the rooftop. That much is.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned he died, kid died. That has to be the first thing that comes up when you Google Cassidy Casablancas. The sexual assault won't be on there because that's kind of just secret between her. The public doesn't know about that, but it's insane that she can't bring up anything else. But he had this business and it just went to Daddy Dick, who was in jail at the time or gone. I don't even know how Phoenix Land Trust still exists because.
Right.
Whatever.
He was still in jail.
Well, he was MIA and then he came back and went to prison. And I think Kendall Casablancas would have gotten it, but then she went missing too. Matty, you would have been on the internet for a day just going through this.
Yeah.
And then I don't love that Veronica's only reason why she thinks Nicole can't be the killer is because, well, she owns a business, so she wouldn't blow up a guy's head on the beach. That has nothing to do with that guy's head blowing up on the beach is so outside of just buildings blowing up.
Yeah.
But now she's like, well, she sold it. So she doesn't care what happens to Comrade Cracks. Yeah, if she sold it, she wouldn't have set a bomb off in her own place. That has to lower your value if you... If I bought a place and I was moving in a month and I was like, wait, so the whole bathroom just blew up.
Maybe she blew it up as a fuck you to Daddy Dick.
The only thing that this explained to me is why Nicole was okay with hanging out with regular Dick because she'd already sold. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. But also, when did she sell? Because didn't she complain to Daddy Dick in the one?
Yeah.
She literally complained about ruining the business. And how much time has passed between that and her selling?
Yeah, she said that Veronica says that she sold it after the first bombing. But
yeah, so I guess that was
city council meeting was after the first bombing, right? Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
No, I think Nicole was the first episode because the first bombing happens at the end of the first episode, right?
Well, it does. But she also would have sold to one of the shell corporations, not knowing it was Data. Yeah.
But everybody's selling after the bombing. It seems like Chattanooga Charlie did.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, if she sold, now I can't trust this lady.
Yeah, because she goes to Nicole's office and bugs her office.
And the line that she has when she bugs his office is just because they're supposed to go out that night because I guess that's what you do. Your business got bombed and you're like, hey, we're still on for Friday. It's like, You might have construction work to do. You might have work to do because you almost died.
No. If there was ever a time I needed to go out, I need to go out.
Can we go to another establishment that hasn't been exploded that might blow up? Like, where are they going? But Veronica says, my experience is that the people you trust let you down, but only if you let them. And she puts a bug on the thing. She should have bugged this office a long time ago.
Yeah.
She should have put cameras up in this place. Because since this is where all the crimes happen, I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay, I just saw. I'm sorry. I'm taken aback for a second because we're wrapping up Losing Streak. Do you have anything else to say about this episode?
No, I brought up the fact that we never get any follow up on Maloof and the Hillbillies, which I thought was strange.
So, what has taken me aback? Look at the next episode's title, Entering a World of Pain. I see the writers for this episode.
Yes, I told you we were going to get interesting writers, didn't I?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
yeah,
Lakers legend, was apparently one of the writers on this episode. What the
He started writing a blog for a while, and then I guess he got onto like the writer's room of this, but he was also in like Little Dicky's show at one point. Really? I remember. So he was probably a writer on that too.
Dave or whatever?
Yeah, Dave. He was in an episode of Dave, I remember, in the first season or second season, one of those. Yeah. But I remember somehow I stumbled across that he was a writer on this before the season started. And I told you it's wild that he's a writer on Veronica Mars.
That's fucking insane.
I hope it's the best episode of the season.
His real name is Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking writer for TV. Mm-hmm. What an amazing guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's
fucking MVP, basketball career, Hall of Fame, and then to go on to be a television writer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's had a career, man. He's an Airplane, right?
Yeah, he's an Airplane. He's in that fucking Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's lived a life, man. I don't even know what to predict.
Sorry, I don't even know what to Entering predict. A World of Pain. Sorry. I'm going to bet that Nicole punches out Veronica with her little glove. I'm going to say that.
I would say she gifts her a glove. Because she was really into that glove.
Maybe Veronica goes to therapy. Maybe Logan forces her to go to therapy.
Oh,
they have an intervention therapy intervention.
Yeah, I'm going to predict that we get some follow up on the Maloof hillbilly situation. We have to. World of Pain.
Entering a World of Pain.
I'm still wondering where we're going with this Matty character because the first voiceover that we got from this show was that
but then there was a girl that I cared about.
I'd like to think I would have walked away if we didn't need the money, knowing what I know now. I wish I had.
I guess that Matty gets kidnapped, but we don't see who the person that's kidnapping her is.
Instead of making predictions, I'm just going to say Why don't they think Liam Fitzpatrick has anything to do with this? Considering
he's done.
Considering that the guy that they thought was the first bomber worked for him and literally was about to beat up Matty with the sledgehammer or something.
Yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going to guess there's some kind of Lakers reference.
A Lakers reference. I don't think Wilders does anything. The hacker's already done.
I think Clyde beats up Keith. Clyde beats up Keith. Nicole beats up Veronica. Matty Ross gets kidnapped.
I think we're going to get more. I think we're going to get another Weevil Alonzo scene. And then Weevil's going to discover some stuff about Alonzo being there No, he already knows that Alonzo's there about the bombing.
Is Maloof coming back? We got anything about Maloof?
No, I said Maloof. We have to deal with the Maloof and the hillbilly stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say we also got to get the FBI getting involved again. Leo has to be. Leo and his partner Woods, who he completely abandoned, are in the town. They have to react to. I don't know why they're not even at
the bombing.
Nicole's bombing. It doesn't make any sense. They took over the case, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is I don't know. I don't know.
My predictions. Keith gets beat up by Clyde. Nicole gets beat up by Nicole. Matty Ross
gets beat up by Nicole.
Or Veronica gets beat up by Nicole.
She
Matty Ross gets
herself.
kidnapped. And then there's a Lakers reference. All right.
And you're sticking with your therapy thing too?
Oh yeah.
You keep saying therapy. A lot of things, man.
Therapy intervention. Maybe Logan and Veronica go to couples therapy.
Maybe she goes to couples therapy with Nicole.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think any of your people fighting people things are gonna come true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I predict you're wrong.
My prediction is your prediction is off. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a wrap for Losing Streak, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Hop on our Discord. Let us know what you think about these episodes. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatching Buffy for True Blood, for all the movies, for all the other shows we've done, and all that stuff that is said at the beginning. You heard it. Stay tuned next time for when we talk about entering a world of pain.
Turns out I'm not low-down gutter trash.
Jury's out.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.